My name is Patience Carter, and on June 12, 2016, I was at Pulse Nightclub. The guilt of feeling grateful to be alive is heavy. Wanting to smile, but not sure if the people around you are ready. As the world mourns, the people killed and viciously slain. I feel guilty, screaming about my legs in pain because I could feel nothing, like the other 49 who weren't so lucky to feel this pain of mine. I never thought in a million years that this could happen. I never thought my eyes could witness something so tragic. Looking at the souls leaving the bodies of individuals. Looking at the killer's machine gun throughout my right peripheral. Looking at the blood covered on everyone's faces. Looking at the gunman's feet under the stall as he paces. The guilt of feeling lucky to be alive is heavy. It's like the weight of the ocean's walls crushing uncontrolled by levees. It's like being dragged through the grass with a shattered leg and thrown on the back of a Chevy, and being rushed to the hospital and told you're going to make it when you laid beside individuals whose lives were brutally taken. The guilt of being alive is heavy.
It was Latin night at Pulse Nightclub in Orlando when Omar Mateen opened fire around 2 a.m. For over 3 hours, Mateen held club patrons hostage in bathrooms, making a call to 911 and speaking repeatedly with crisis negotiators. One of these patrons, survivor Patience Carter, spoke at a press conference 2 days later.
The gunman entered the bathroom and was shooting his machine gun. So we're all scrambling around in the bathroom, screaming at the top of our lungs.
The massacre at the LGBT club left 49 people dead and 53 injured.
My life before the shooting was really fast-paced. I was just so excited, so driven. I was excited about school. I was sort of a nerd. NYU was hard. I just wanted to focus on getting good grades and stuff, so that's what my focus was before. I went to Orlando because I was actually invited on my best friend's family's vacation. So it wasn't even my family's vacation. I just got invited to go, so I was like, sure, sounds fun. We've been in the house all day, let's go out. We're on vacation, why not? And we started Googling 18 and up nightclubs in Orlando because at the time we were all under 21. And Akira actually came across Pulse Nightclub, who's my best friend's cousin. She saw the club and she was showing us the pictures. Everything looked so cool. And we were like, you know what, if this is a gay club, this is an opportunity for us to just do more with our makeup, do more with our hair. When we first walked through the door, you see a bunch of smiley faces. We were sure that we were going to come back to Pulse every single night of vacation because that's how much fun we were having. We're sitting down now, we're tired, we already danced the entire night away. And we're thinking about how we're going to get home now. I'm sitting next to Akira on the chair, and Tiara, my best friend, is standing in front of us, and she's on her phone. So I asked her, I said, Tiara, how are we getting home? She said, I'm about to call Uber. Cool, we're about to get out here in 5 to 7 minutes. But that's when the gunshots started going off in the other room. When we heard the sounds of gunshots, we weren't sure if it was the music, but people's reactions were the thing that made us more scared because people were ducking, people were scrambling back and forth, and that made me want to scramble back and forth. I dropped to the floor, and then my best friend, she ran towards the bar, so I started scooting backwards, and before I knew it, I felt the grass underneath my palms, and Akira saw me, and she came running over to me. And when I looked up at her, I saw the sky behind her head. That's how I knew for sure we were outside. And the first thing I thought to ask her was, where's Tiara? And she said, Tiara's still inside. And I said, we got to go get her. I got up off the grass, went back inside. It's just in a state of shock like that, you just really don't think clearly. You just don't think, like, what's the best thing to do? So we go back in, Tiara's squatting by the bar, like she's in shock. And we come to her, she sees us. At this point, we see everybody rushing into the bathroom stalls. Maybe this is where safety is. People started getting on their phones. Akira was one of those people. And I see her holding her arm on the phone, like, Mom, come get me. Mom. Nobody knows what's going on. But there's this one girl on the floor that's holding her arm. She's bleeding. And we're like, what happened to you? Like, everybody's just, like, all over. But me and my friend Tiara were just like, what happened to you? And she's like, I've been shot. And we're like, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. Like, we're still in denial. Like, we're not believing the gravity of the situation that we're in. So we're like, no. And then all of a sudden you hear footsteps enter the bathroom. And then after that, he starts blasting the entire bathroom. After the firing stopped, I looked down. I couldn't miss these huge holes that were in my leg. And I grabbed my legs, and then all of a sudden, all this pain just started rushing. I've been shot. That's when the realization happened, like, we're in a life or death situation here. I think I just gave up instantly. I just kind of figured I'm not getting out of here. I was more so asking God, like, why? Why is this happening? This is what it is. God, just take the soul out of my body so I don't have to feel any more pain. So it's probably been over an hour now at this point. People are bleeding out. I'm bleeding. I'm getting more tired. My friends are getting, I don't hear my friends anymore. You just want to go to sleep almost. Like, that's how I feel. I just wanted to close my eyes and go to sleep. But I couldn't, because every time he'd move, every time I'd hear him say something, hear him fidget his gun, was extremely terrifying. It was like a body jolting experience. It was like I couldn't even steal a couple moments to pretend like I'm passing away, because he's still here. He's still here, and I'm still here, and I'm still alive. While we were in the bathroom, we didn't hear police. We didn't hear anything going on outside the walls. The only thing we heard was him in the bathroom with us. While we're in the bathroom, he makes calls to 911. And he's pledging his allegiance to ISIS. He's saying, I have bombs that'll blow up a city block. Not only do we have to think about, oh my God, is he going to start firing again? But now to think that we might just get blown up. When the police finally started to come in after the third hour, the explosions that they were doing, or the busting through the wall, sounded like he was letting bombs go off. Once the police said, move away from the walls, boom, the police come through the wall. Put your gun down, put your gun down, put your gun down. And then all you hear is brrrr of them going back and forth with each other. And then it was just like silent. When the police came through the wall, like, everything kind of got destroyed. So, like, the wall, debris is everywhere, and the stall wall was on my face. Debris was on my face. I lifted the stall wall off of me, and then I sat up. And just, like, looking at everything, looking at everyone, looking at my friends, looking at the person next to me, looking into the other stalls. It was just, Akira was laying across Tiara's lap, not moving. And I started to ask Tiara, what's wrong with Akira? What's wrong with Akira? And I'm like getting hysterical at this point. Like, I'm letting everything just, we see this police officer coming through the wall. Can you get up? I'm like, I can't get up. And then Tiara was like, you gotta try. So I tried to push myself up off the ground. It was the most excruciating pain I ever felt in my entire life. I started leaning on that fallen stall wall, and I really put everything on my left leg because I couldn't do anything with my right leg. And somehow, some way, I made it to on my feet, and I hopped over on my left leg to the police officer in his arms, and I asked him, I said, why would he do this?
There are more than a list of names. There are people who loved and were loved. There are people who had families and friends and dreams. Akira Monet Murray, she recently graduated from high school, was planning to go to Mercyhurst University and play basketball. She was just 18.
I felt really bad that Akira didn't make it, but I didn't find that out until a couple of days after being in the hospital. I didn't want to have my door closed at night because I couldn't go to sleep with my door closed because I felt trapped, like something would happen to me. And I felt compelled to keep watching the news. Like, I would not stop watching the news because I just couldn't believe that actually happened to me. I was still in the hospital when I first saw this meme that conspiracy theorists made saying that I was a crisis actor, and they used this still frame from a video while I was at an internship in Philadelphia at a news station. I was still in excruciating pain, and to think that somebody would tell me that my story is a lie, that my pain isn't real, that was devastating for me. I spent a lot of time afraid. I spent a lot of time waking up from nightmares, screaming out of my sleep. It was getting frustrating. It was making it hard for me to just exist, having that much fear. I'm back home in Philadelphia. At this point, me and Tiara were sleeping in the bed together because she didn't want to be by herself. I didn't want to be by myself. So we decided to sleep together. I was so upset with myself that I let this continue to go on this long. Weeks after, I continued to let him terrify me, even to this day. I'm still waking up out of my sleep and stuff. I didn't want to have to live in that kind of dysfunction. I wanted to have some sort of peace. I do believe in God, and I do believe that God was a huge part of getting me through this really, really tough time. So,
what is it that gets you out of bed?
The thing that gets me out of bed now is before Pulse happened, I was this very vibrant, driven, I was just very happy about life. I was excited about life. I was excited about what life could bring. And then after Pulse happened, I was fearful of what life could bring. I didn't want to be happy. I didn't want to be vibrant. I didn't want to be vulnerable anymore to the world because I experienced firsthand that when you're happy, when you're vibrant, and having the best night of your life, it can go terribly wrong. Naturally, I wanted to be happy, but I was just so afraid. This is where I am now. I have a light about me. My light is back. My joy is back. My happiness is back. I'm no longer in that dark place. And it's not just physically being in the bathroom stall stuck with the shooter. It's that fear. That fear it makes you feel like you're trapped too, and that lasts for a really long time.
Peace, love, pulse. Peace, love, pulse. Peace, love, pulse.
Less than 16 months after the Pulse shooting in Orlando, survivors are sending support to those in Las Vegas. At least 58 people are dead after a man opened fire at a music festival, making it the worst mass shooting in modern American history. On Wednesday, survivors of the Parkland High School shooting met with Pulse survivors in Orlando. The former event manager for the club, which is now a memorial, said, "We are all family."
You can't go back to not thinking about it. You can't go back to just looking at it as something distant. Because coming from a survivor perspective, no matter how many times you've seen it on the news, it's nothing like actually experiencing it yourself. I'm definitely going to make sure then I'm remembering those narratives. I'm remembering that night, and I'm making sure everybody else does too.